Have you ever wondered, what does true love really mean? How can we build a relationship that is not only sustainable but also happy? Breaking up is a huge shock, but the interesting thing is that men and women face it very differently. While women often express their emotions immediately, men tend to hide them, even acting as if nothing happened. But is that really true? Are they truly strong, or are they just trying to pretend to hide the inner hurt? Let's explore the common psychological patterns of men after a breakup, and find out what the best way to move on is. Welcome to the Sophia's Knowledge channel, and my name is Sophia. This is the place where lessons about love will help you better understand this complex emotion. In today's video, we will explore 7 psychological patterns of men commonly seen after a breakup, an interesting story that might change the way you view love and life. Prepare yourself because the secrets and deep insights you are about to discover may cause you to re-examine yourself and the relationships around you. Before we begin, find a quiet space, put on your headphones, and relax. Let your mind fully immerse in these insights and enjoy every wonderful moment. Are you ready to explore new aspects of love? Let's begin with Sophia right now. Number 1. The pretended strength type. After a breakup, not only women are hurt, men also carry deep scars. But the special thing is, the way men show their pain is completely different. Instead of allowing themselves to express their emotions, many choose to hide them behind a mask, strong, calm, even happier than ever. They create a perfect facade to prove to the world that they are not affected by the breakup. This is the so-called pretended strength type, one of the most common responses of men after losing the one they once loved. Why do men choose to pretend to be strong? From a young age, men are taught that they must be strong, not weak, not allowed to cry, and definitely not allowed to show vulnerability in front of others. This becomes an invisible pressure weighing on them. When a relationship falls apart, pain is inevitable, but instead of expressing it, many choose to bury it. Moreover, men are often afraid of being judged. If a woman is suffering after a breakup, people will comfort and empathize with her. But if a man openly shows his sadness, he might be seen as weak. Therefore, they feel compelled to wear the mask of strength to avoid unwanted judgment. Signs of a man pretending to be strong. Showing a wonderful life after a breakup. After a breakup, many men tend to actively show off on social media. They post photos of outings with friends, travel, dine in style, or engage in new activities like going to the gym, learning new skills, and expanding their social circles. The purpose of these actions is not only to assert that they are fine, but also to subtly send the message to their ex, "I don't need you, I'm still doing well." Avoiding conversations related to the ex. A man who has truly moved on from a relationship will be comfortable mentioning it as a part of his past. But those pretending to be strong usually avoid any topic related to their ex. If someone asks about the breakup, they will deflect the conversation or give a brief answer like, "It's all in the past, there's nothing to talk about." Not showing true emotions. When in front of others, they always smile, appear cheerful, and seem busy with their new life. But when they are alone, they sink into negative thoughts. There are long, sleepless nights, moments when memories suddenly resurface that no one knows about. They do not cry in front of others, but they might have shed tears in the dark. Becoming cold and distant. Some choose to completely cut off from the past, erasing all images, blocking contact numbers, not wanting to be associated with anything that reminds them of their ex. They appear indifferent, but in fact, this behavior reveals deep hurt. Consequences of pretending to be strong. When a man does not acknowledge his true feelings, he can fall into prolonged mental stress. Suppressed wounds do not disappear, they only accumulate and may eventually erupt in a negative way. He might torment himself with questions like, "Was I wrong? What can I do to hold on, or has she really forgotten about me?" These thoughts trap him in the past and make it difficult to open up to a new relationship. Additionally, trying to prove that everything is fine sometimes makes him lose himself. He might jump into fleeting relationships or parties, but in the end, he still feels empty. How to overcome this phase in a healthy way? Instead of trying to prove that everything is fine, men need to learn to accept the pain as part of their growing process. Allow yourself to feel sad. A breakup is a loss, and feeling sad is completely normal. There is nothing wrong with grieving over someone who was once important to you. Confide in someone you trust. Instead of bottling up your emotions, share them with friends, family, or even a psychological professional. Speaking out will help relieve the internal pressure. Focus on yourself positively. If you want to improve yourself, do it for your own sake, not to prove anything to your ex. Learning a new skill, exercising, or taking time to pursue personal goals will boost your spirit. Avoid rushing into new relationships. A hasty relationship just to forget the ex is often not sustainable and may hurt both parties. Only start a new relationship when you are truly ready. Finally, true strength is not about hiding emotions, but about facing them. A man may feel pain after a breakup, but that does not make him weak. On the contrary, being honest with his emotions will help him grow and become truly stronger. So, if you are going through a breakup, don't try to hide your sadness. Confront it, accept it, and move on in a healthy way. Because after all, time will heal, and one day, you will thank yourself for overcoming this difficult phase. Everyone has a different perspective, and I would love to hear your views on this topic. Please leave a comment below and let's discuss. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to join me in upcoming videos. Let's continue together. Number 2. The belated regret type. After a breakup, there are men who immediately move on to a new life, but there are also those who fall into a state of belated regret. They once thought that breaking up was the right decision, that everything would be fine. But then, when the distance gradually grows, when the old memories become something that can never return, they truly realize what they have lost. Belated regret is not uncommon, especially among men. Women often suffer immediately after a breakup, but men tend to feel the pain slowly. When loneliness begins to envelop them, when there is no one to remind them to take care of themselves, when long evenings become empty, they finally understand the value of the one they once had. Why do men often feel regret after a breakup? There is a truth that men usually only realize the value of someone when that person is no longer by their side. They do not immediately feel the loss at the moment of the breakup, because at that time, the feeling of freedom and relief may overwhelm everything. But after a while, when everything gradually stabilizes, they begin to feel empty. Part of the reason comes from the subjective mindset of men in love. When in a relationship, they often think that their partner will always be there, will always love and accept them. But when the relationship ends, they gradually realize that love is not something taken for granted. Moreover, men tend to look back on the past in an idealized way. When remembering their ex, they no longer focus on the conflicts or disagreements that once occurred, but only recall the beautiful moments, the good things she did for them. This makes them fall into a sense of regret, self-blame, and a desire to turn back time. Signs of a man experiencing belated regret. Trying to re-establish contact with the ex. After some time following the breakup, when the longing and regret become clear, men often tend to try to re-establish contact. Initially, it may be just a simple greeting message, a birthday wish, or some excuse to start a conversation. But in reality, it is a sign that they want to hold on. Following the ex's life. Even if they do not send a message, they still silently follow. They look at new photos on social media, read the statuses posted by the ex, curious to see if she has someone new. If they find out she is happy, they feel pain. If they see her still lonely, they might harbor hope for reconciliation. Comparing the new with the old. Many men enter a new relationship in hopes of forgetting the past. But when with the new partner, they unconsciously compare with the ex. They realize that no one can understand them like she did, no one can care for them the way she once did. And so, the regret becomes even greater. Trying to fix past mistakes. Some begin to look back at themselves and realize the mistakes they made in the previous relationship. They try to change, develop themselves, hoping that if given a chance to return, they will not repeat the old mistakes. But the problem is, sometimes the change comes too late. Consequences of belated regret. Regret is a heavy emotion. It makes men feel tormented, self-blame, even fall into a state of emotional imbalance. They may fall into thoughts like, if only I had treated her better, if only I had appreciated her more, but those are just things of the past. Regret can also lead to negative actions, such as trying to hold on desperately, putting pressure on the ex, or rushing into new relationships just to fill the void. Many think that simply apologizing, simply showing change, can bring back the old love. But sometimes, the ex has truly moved on, and every attempt only increases the pain for both. How to overcome this regret? If a man falls into a state of regret after a breakup, the most important thing is to learn to accept reality. Acknowledge your feelings. Regret is a natural emotion, but it is important not to let it control your whole life. Acknowledge that you made mistakes, but also understand that everyone can err. Do not cling to the past cannot be changed, but the present and future can. Instead of merely regretting, use the lessons from the past relationship to become a better version of yourself. Respect the ex's decision. If she has decided to move on, respect that. Do not try to hold on desperately, as that only brings more pain to both. Focus on yourself, spend time developing yourself, seeking new experiences in life, rather than just wallowing in regret. Finally, feeling regret after a breakup is an emotion that is hard to avoid, especially when a man realizes the value of the ex too late. But the important thing is not to live in regret forever, but to learn to move on in a mature way. Love is also like a lesson. If a person does not know how to cherish it while they have it, then when it is lost, regret is meaningless. The only thing one can do is learn from the mistakes, so that when meeting the right person at the right time, they will not repeat the past mistakes. If you are still watching the video, do not hesitate to comment with the word continue. Leave your thoughts and questions in the comments below. I look forward to hearing your opinions, and do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel so that Sophia has more motivation to create many more interesting and meaningful videos. Let's continue together. Number 3. The emotion avoiding type. When a relationship ends, each person will face the pain in different ways. Some crumble, cry, and turn to friends to pour out their hearts. Some feel regret, torment, and try to hold on. But there are also men who choose to avoid their emotions. They do not cry, do not show sadness, and do not mention their ex. They appear indifferent, filling their time with work, social events, or even isolating themselves. Yet, this avoidance does not make the pain disappear, it only pushes it deep into the subconscious. At some point, when there is nothing left to cover it up, they will have to face the very emotions they tried so hard to evade. Why do men choose to avoid their emotions after a breakup? There are many reasons why a man does not want to confront his true feelings. Pressure from society and gender stereotypes. From a young age, men are often taught that they must be strong and must control their emotions. If a man shows sorrow after a breakup, he might be seen as weak. For that reason, they choose to hide their wounds, telling themselves that there is nothing worth being sad about. Not wanting to touch on painful memories. The memories with an ex can be beautiful, but when a relationship ends, they can also become something that causes deep hurt. Recalling the past, looking at old photos, or listening to familiar songs can trigger overwhelming emotions. To avoid having to face that, men choose to steer clear of anything related to their ex. Fear of admitting that they are hurting. Some men do not want to admit that they still have feelings for their ex. Admitting this is tantamount to accepting that they are not ready to move on. Therefore, they try to hide it by convincing themselves that everything is already over. Signs of a man avoiding his emotions. Throwing himself into work or new hobbies. One of the most common ways for men to avoid their emotions is by immersing themselves in work. They work longer hours, take on new projects, or spend countless hours at the gym. Being busy keeps them from having time to think about the past, but in reality, it is only a temporary way to mask their true feelings. Avoiding anything related to the ex. They might delete all photos, messages, and even block the phone number and social media profiles of their ex. They do not want anyone to mention her in their presence, nor do they want to visit places where they once shared memories. In reality, avoidance does not mean they have forgotten, it is merely a way to run away from the pain. Not wanting to talk about the breakup. When friends ask about the past, they give a brief reply like, "It's okay, nothing to talk about." They do not want to discuss it or recount what happened. But this silence does not mean they are truly fine, it may be a sign that they are bottling up their emotions. Appearing happy, yet actually lonely. Some choose to fake happiness, talking and laughing normally, even joining more social gatherings than before. But when they return home alone, they feel empty. The lonely moments are when they are forced to face themselves, yet they do not want to admit it. Consequences of avoiding emotions. Bottled up emotions that are prone to erupt. Emotions cannot vanish simply because we ignore them. When men avoid their emotions after a breakup, they only push them deep inside. Eventually, when there is nothing left to hide behind, the pain may erupt even more intensely. Difficulty opening up to a new relationship. A person who does not truly face the past will find it hard to move on in a healthy way. When they have not resolved their feelings, they may carry those wounds into the next relationship, making it heavy and unsustainable. Isolation and psychological imbalance. Long-term emotional avoidance can lead to isolation. They may gradually distance themselves from friends, not wanting to confide in anyone, and may even fall into a state of psychological imbalance without even realizing it. How to face your emotions in a healthy way. Acknowledge that you are hurting. The first step to healing is to accept the truth. Feeling sad after a breakup is normal, and there is nothing wrong with admitting that you are in pain. Allow yourself to truly feel your emotions. Instead of avoiding, allow yourself to experience every emotion naturally. If you want to cry, then cry. If you want to reminisce, then do so. Facing your emotions will accelerate the healing process. Share with someone you trust. Talking with friends, family, or someone who will listen can help alleviate psychological pressure. Sharing your feelings can help you see things more gently. Focus on yourself in a positive way. Rather than throwing yourself into work merely to escape, focus on activities that are truly beneficial. Learn a new skill, travel, or exercise, not to forget someone, but for your own well-being. Ultimately, avoiding emotions does not help a man overcome the pain, it only makes him remain trapped in it longer. Instead of trying to hide, learn to accept and face your feelings honestly. A breakup is not the end, it is an opportunity to reflect, learn from mistakes, and become a better version of yourself. Let your emotions flow freely, because only by accepting and letting go of the past can we truly move forward. Number 4. The type of diving into new relationships. After a relationship ends, many men quickly dive into a new relationship. They search for someone else to replace their former partner, hoping that a new love will help them forget the past pain. But does this truly make them happy, or is it just a way to escape their real emotions? Diving into a new relationship right after a breakup is not uncommon. Some do it because they genuinely want to seek a new love, but for the most part, it is merely a psychological reaction to fill the emptiness. They do not want to face loneliness or the memories of their ex, so they choose to find someone else to fill that gap. Why do men often seek a new relationship immediately after a breakup? Fear of loneliness. One of the biggest reasons why men dive into a new relationship is that they cannot stand the feeling of loneliness. When they are used to having someone by their side, caring and sharing every part of life, they feel empty once that is gone. A new relationship can temporarily fill the void, making them feel loved and cared for, wanting to prove that they have moved on. Many men do not want to be seen as failures in love. They want to prove to their ex, or even to themselves, that they have overcome the breakup and are not affected by it. The quickest way to do that is by finding someone new, hoping to forget the ex. Some believe that the best way to forget someone is to find someone else. They think that if they enter a new relationship, they will no longer have to remember their ex. But the truth is, when the emotions have not been fully resolved, the new person only becomes a shadow against which they compare the past. Hurt self-esteem. If the breakup was initiated by the other person, a man might feel his self-esteem was wounded. He wants to quickly step into a new relationship to assert that he is still attractive and valuable in the eyes of others. Signs of an unhealthy healing relationship. Not every relationship after a breakup is a mistake, but if a man begins a new relationship for the wrong reasons, it can harm both him and the new partner. Below are some signs of a healing relationship that is not truly healthy. The relationship progresses too quickly. After a breakup, some people take only a few days or weeks to find someone new. They do not take the time to truly understand the other person, they just need someone by their side. Such relationships often lack a solid foundation and are prone to failure. Comparing the new with the old. When a man has not truly forgotten his ex, he might unconsciously compare the two. It could be about appearance, personality, or the way of treating him. If these comparisons are made, they not only hurt the new partner but also indicate that he has not really moved on. Lack of genuine emotional connection. In hastily begun relationships, men may care more about appearances than establishing an emotional connection. They look for temporary fun and attraction without truly opening up to the new person. Still following or contacting the ex. If a man claims to have a new partner but still cares about his ex's life, keeps following her on social media, or wants to know who she is dating, it shows that he has not truly left the past behind. Consequences of diving into a new relationship too soon. Hurting oneself. If a man enters a new relationship before he is truly ready, he may fall into a cycle of dissatisfaction. When the emotions do not stem from true love, sooner or later he will feel empty and disappointed. Hurting the new partner. The new partner may enter the relationship hoping for true love, but if she is merely a replacement, she will soon realize the superficiality and lack of sincerity. This can hurt her and cause her to lose faith in love, making the new relationship burdensome. A relationship that begins from avoidance will not be sustainable. When a man has not truly healed, he may bring his wounds, doubts, and instability into the new relationship, making it tense and difficult to maintain in the long run. How to enter a new relationship in a healthy way. If you truly want to seek a new love after a breakup, a man needs to be sure that he is ready. Give yourself time to heal. Do not rush into a new relationship immediately after a breakup. Take time to understand your feelings, confront the pain, and learn to accept the past. Do not look for a substitute. If you start a new relationship just to fill the void left by your ex, that is not true love. Love someone for who they are, not because they are similar to or different from your ex. Build a genuine emotional connection. A sustainable relationship needs both a mental and emotional connection. Make sure you enter a relationship because of mutual understanding and resonance, not just to alleviate loneliness. Be honest with yourself and your partner. If you are not truly ready, admit it rather than forcing yourself into a new relationship. Respect both your feelings and those of your partner to avoid hurting each other. Ultimately, diving into a new relationship immediately after a breakup may bring temporary relief, but it is not a solution for healing. Instead of seeking someone else to fill the void, take the time to understand yourself, learn to accept the past, and prepare for a true love when you are ready. Love is not something that can be rushed, and only when you have truly healed can you love completely and sincerely. Number 5. The type of falling into negative habits. Breaking up is a huge shock for many people. It not only makes the mood heavy but can also change daily habits. Some men try to overcome it by throwing themselves into work, exercise, or self-development. However, there are also those who fall into a negative spiral, self-destructing with toxic habits. When the pain is not relieved in a healthy way, they may turn to alcohol, cigarettes, excessive partying, or even more dangerous habits. They believe that by indulging in temporary pleasures, they can forget the pain. But in reality, this escape only sinks them deeper into a crisis, and when sobriety returns, everything becomes even worse. Why are men prone to falling into negative habits after a breakup? Not everyone can accept and face their emotions calmly. There are many reasons why men get trapped in negative habits after losing a relationship. Trying to quickly forget the pain. Facing loneliness is not easy. When there is no one to share with, no more nightly phone calls, no more caring messages, men may feel empty. They want to find a way to temporarily forget the pain, and negative habits are often the easiest path. Self-destruction due to a sense of failure. For many men, a breakup is not just the loss of a lover, but also a failure in life. They may feel inadequate, not good enough, or incapable of keeping the person they love. This self-blame causes them to lose control and makes them prone to self-destructive behaviors. Lack of emotional support system. Women, after a breakup, often turn to friends and family to share their emotions. But men, on the other hand, rarely express their pain to others. Without anyone to listen, they bottle up their feelings and resort to negative ways of release. Wanting to show that they are okay. Some men choose to dive into parties and all-night events to prove that they are not affected. In reality, the more they try to show they are fine, the more they push themselves into dangerous situations. Common negative habits after a breakup. Not everyone deals with pain in the same way, but here are some common negative habits that men might fall into after a relationship ends. Abusing alcohol and stimulants. Alcohol is often what many people turn to when they are sad. 1 drink, 2 drinks, then an entire night of drunkenness just to forget reality. But when they sober up, the pain is still there, and their body feels even more exhausted. Some even turn to cigarettes, drugs, or other stimulants in an attempt to numb their emotions. Staying up late and having irregular lifestyles. Many people change their daily habits after a breakup. They stay up late, watch movies all night, endlessly scroll through social media, or immerse themselves in video games. During the day, they oversleep or lack the energy to do anything. This lifestyle not only affects physical health but also leads to a deteriorating mental state. Engaging in promiscuous sexual relationships. Some men choose to fill the emotional void by seeking one-night stands or fleeting affairs. They believe that as long as there is someone by their side, they will not feel lonely. However, the truth is that these emotionless relationships only leave them feeling even emptier. Isolating themselves from friends and family. When trapped in a negative state, some men tend to isolate themselves. They do not want to meet anyone or listen to any advice. They gradually withdraw from close relationships, making their lives even more solitary. Consequences of negative habits. Decline in physical and mental health. Drinking alcohol, staying up late, and abusing stimulants all severely impact health. The body becomes fatigued, the mind depressed, and the zest for life gradually erodes. If prolonged, this can lead to depression and many other health issues. Impact on work and life. When immersed in negative habits, men may lose focus at work or in their studies. They are prone to making mistakes, losing motivation, and even missing out on important career opportunities. Difficulty in moving forward. Negative habits do not help to forget the pain, they only prolong it. Instead of solving the problem in a healthy way, men get stuck in a cycle of self-destruction, making it hard for them to open up to a new relationship in the future. How to overcome without falling into negative habits. To avoid being swept away by self-destructive behaviors, men need to find healthier ways to face their emotions. Acknowledge your feelings. There is nothing wrong with feeling sad after a breakup. Instead of avoiding it, accept that this is a part of life and allow yourself to feel it. Seek support from friends and family. Instead of drowning in loneliness, reach out to those who truly care about you. A sincere conversation can help relieve a lot of psychological pressure. Channel negative energy into personal development. Rather than turning to alcohol or meaningless partying, focus on yourself. Learn a new skill, exercise, or read a book. All these activities will help you become stronger after a breakup. Set new goals in life. One of the best ways to move on is to set new challenges. When you have a clear goal, you will be motivated to rise above, rather than sink into negative habits. Finally, a breakup is not the end, and it is certainly not a reason to self-destruct. Instead of resorting to negative habits, view this as an opportunity to grow, change, and build a better version of yourself. After all, true happiness does not come from running away, but from learning to face and move on from the past with strength. Number 6. The mature type after suffering. Not everyone falls apart after a breakup. Some choose to avoid it, some dive into new relationships, but there are also those who use the pain to grow. They disappear for a while, remain silent, and do not talk about the past. But after a few months, a few years, when you meet them again, you will see that they have changed. They are no longer the same person, but a stronger, deeper, and more resilient version of themselves. These men do not deny the pain, nor do they avoid it. They accept that a breakup is a part of life, an opportunity to reflect on themselves and learn lessons. Instead of letting the hurt overwhelm them, they use it as motivation to change, to become a better man. Why do some people become more mature after a breakup? Not everyone can turn suffering into an opportunity for growth. Those who mature after a breakup are usually the ones who know how to face their emotions and maintain a positive outlook on life. They understand that pain is necessary for growth. No one wants to experience a breakup, but not everything in life goes as desired. The men who mature after suffering understand that sometimes losing something is an opportunity to gain something better. They do not view a breakup as a failure, but as a lesson. They ask themselves, where did I go wrong? What can I do to become a better person? How will my next love be different? Instead of blaming or faulting their ex, they focus on self-improvement. They do not let emotions dictate their decisions. After a breakup, emotions can be very intense. Many people, in their sadness, make mistakes, such as trying to hold on, seeking revenge, or self-destructing. But truly mature people know how to control their emotions. They understand that no matter how much it hurts, life goes on. They take time to heal, but do not allow themselves to get stuck in the past. They disappear to develop. Men of this type often remain silent after a breakup. They do not take to social media to complain, nor do they try to prove that they are doing better than their ex. They simply disappear, not to avoid, but to change. When they return, they have become a different person, stronger, more mature, and more attractive. How have they changed? Maturity after suffering does not happen immediately. It is a process that requires time, patience, and strong will. But these men often have noticeable changes in their lives. They rebuild themselves from the smallest things. A man who matures after a breakup not only changes psychologically but also in very specific ways. They begin to take better care of themselves, from their diet, exercise, to their fashion style. They learn new skills, develop their careers, or pursue passions they had never thought of before. They read books, study psychology, and develop their mindset to better understand themselves and others. They change their perspective on love. After a failed relationship, mature people no longer view love in a dreamy or idealized way. They understand that love is not just an emotion, but also requires understanding, responsibility, and maturity from both sides. Not everyone is suitable for them, and the important thing is to find the right partner at the right time. No one is perfect, and they themselves must continuously improve to deserve a better relationship. They learn to control themselves. A man who matures after suffering will no longer easily lose his temper, act impulsively, or behave on a whim. He becomes more composed, knows how to listen, and is more empathetic. He also learns to set boundaries for himself, so as not to fall into toxic relationships or easily indulge in temporary pleasures. Positive outcomes of maturing after suffering. When a man truly matures after a breakup, his life will undergo noticeable changes. He becomes more attractive. A seasoned, mature man who knows how to control his emotions always has a special charm. He does not need to boast or try to appear strong, because his maturity is evident in the way he speaks and treats others. He attracts higher quality relationships. When a man knows what he wants and understands his own value, he will attract people who are more compatible with him. His new relationships are no longer superficial or based on fleeting emotions, but are based on genuine understanding and resonance. He has a more meaningful life. Instead of being trapped in the past, he uses the lessons from previous relationships to build a better future. He no longer lets love control his entire life, but finds a balance between career, hobbies, family, and other relationships. How to mature after a breakup. If you want to turn pain into motivation for growth, start with the following. Accept the pain instead of avoiding it. Allow yourself to feel and learn to confront it calmly. Take time to improve yourself. Learn a new skill, exercise, read books, anything that helps you become a better version of yourself. Do not rush into a new relationship. Allow yourself to be truly ready before seeking new love. Focus on other important aspects of life. Career, passion, family, friends, find joy in things unrelated to love. Maintain a positive mindset. Do not let a breakup make you lose faith in love or in life. Finally, maturing after suffering is not easy, but if you can do it, you will become a better version of yourself. A truly strong man is not one who has never been hurt, but one who knows how to get up, learn, and continue moving forward with a more resilient heart. Number 7. The cold and indifferent type. After a breakup, not everyone displays sadness or tries to seek out a new relationship. Some choose to be cold and indifferent, saying nothing, not texting, not caring what their ex is doing, and even not showing any emotion at all. They act as if nothing ever happened, as if the past relationship never existed. But is this coldness truly a sign of strength? Or is it just another way to hide the pain? Why do men choose to be cold and indifferent after a breakup? There are many reasons why a man might choose silence and not display any emotion after ending a relationship. Wanting to appear strong and unaffected. Society always assigns men the image of strength with little emotional expression. When a breakup occurs, they may not want anyone to see their vulnerability. Instead of showing sadness, they choose to remain silent and maintain a calm appearance to prove that they are not affected. Not wanting to face real emotions. Some men do not like to confront their pain. They think that if they ignore their emotions, they will simply disappear. Therefore, they act as if nothing happened, never mentioning, pondering, or looking back at anything related to their ex. Having completely let go. Not everyone is saddened after a breakup. Some men have truly lost all feelings for their ex, and therefore, they do not feel the need to be sad or show any emotion. They continue their lives naturally, without worrying about the past. Wanting the ex to feel regret. Some men choose to be cold and indifferent as a psychological strategy. They believe that by acting like they do not care, their ex might feel regret or become curious about them. They do not text, do not respond to anything, just to see if the other party will take the initiative to reach out. Signs of a man who is cold after a breakup. Not all men react the same way, but if he belongs to this type, you might recognize him by the following signs. No contact, no responses. Right after the breakup, he completely disappears. No texts, no calls, no responses to his ex's messages. If asked about the past relationship, he responds briefly or evades the topic. Erasing all traces of the past relationship. All joint photos and memories on social media vanish. He does not want anything that reminds him of the past, or simply does not want others to see that he ever had such a relationship. Appearing busy, but not sharing his emotions. He may spend more time on work, exercise, or personal hobbies. But unlike those who try to grow from a breakup, the cold type usually does not share anything about his emotions. Not caring about the ex, even if only pretending. If a man has truly let go, he will no longer care about his ex's life. He does not follow her on social media, does not ask mutual friends about her, and is not curious about whether she has someone new or not. The truth behind the coldness. Not everyone is truly fine when they act cold. Sometimes, that indifference is just a facade to hide inner wounds. Emotions are suppressed, but not gone. A person may ignore his emotions, but that does not mean the emotions disappear. When a man chooses to be cold after a breakup, it does not mean he does not feel pain, it only means he is not yet ready to face that pain. Lonely, but unwilling to admit it. Even if not shown outwardly, many men of this type still feel lonely. They may not express it, but sometimes, in quiet moments, they still remember the past. One day, the emotions will erupt. Suppressing emotions for too long can lead to negative consequences. Some may suddenly feel empty, lose motivation in life, or even fall into a state of psychological stress when they can no longer control their emotions. How to avoid being trapped in meaningless coldness. If you are a man who chooses to be cold after a breakup, ask yourself, am I really okay? If you are using indifference to hide your true feelings, perhaps it is time to confront them. Accept that breakups are a part of life. No one can avoid pain in love. Instead of denying it, accept it as an experience that helps you grow. Do not pretend not to care if you still have feelings. If you still have doubts about the past, acknowledge that with yourself. This does not mean you must try to win someone back, it simply means you need to understand your emotions so that you can move forward more healthily. Learn to express your emotions in a positive way. You do not need to complain or display sadness in front of others, but you should not suppress your emotions excessively. Find a way to release them, such as talking with friends, writing in a journal, or taking time to reflect on yourself. Really move on, instead of just pretending. A person who has truly let go is not someone who is cold, but someone who can look back at the past calmly and continue living life to the fullest. Conclusion. Every man has his own way of dealing with the pain after a breakup. Some try to appear strong, hiding their emotions behind a happy facade. Some experience belated regret when they realize the value of their ex. Some avoid their emotions, diving into work or temporary pleasures to forget reality. Others seek new relationships, hoping that someone can fill the void in their hearts. There are also those who fall into negative habits, self-destructing and eventually paying the price in time, health, and spirit. But among all these reactions, there is a type of man who chooses to mature after suffering. He not only overcomes the pain but also uses it as a lesson to become better and more resilient. He does not cling to the past, nor does he rush into something new just to fill the loneliness. He learns to face himself, accept the loss, and draw lessons from past mistakes. And then there are the men who choose to be cold and indifferent. They remain silent, showing no emotion. But is that silence truly a sign of strength, or is it merely a facade to hide the pain within? Whatever their choice, the most important thing is to learn how to move forward in a healthy way. Because after all, time will help every man understand that a breakup is not the end, but an opportunity to become stronger and more mature. Thank you for watching the video until the end. I hope today's insights on love bring you new perspectives and valuable lessons. If you find the video useful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with those you love. I am truly grateful for your support, and I hope that each video will bring you closer to a happy and lasting love. See you in the next videos. Have a wonderful day filled with inspiration.